Hey everybody, welcome tonight. Got a mess going on here already. How's everyone doing tonight? We are just waiting for Dawn to come on here, and we're gonna check in with her. And Dawn is our chair yoga champ, so we're excited to have her join us. And see how things are going, talk about that midlife movement and what we're going to do about that, because it's so important that we're getting this movement going in midlife. It's so important because we need to make sure we're keeping those muscles strong and healthy, and that's the way we're going to stay strong and healthy, right? Waiting to see if she sees us. Oh, there she is. I see her, except I can't get to it. There we go. We're inviting Dawn in. A minute to pop up, Dawn. She's coming in here. There she is.
There I am.
There you are. Yay! Coming in here. There she is.
There I am.
There you are. Yay!
Coming in. There we go. That should be better now. There I am.
Yay! Okay. We got it here. Maybe. Okay. We got it here. Oh, no, I guess we don't have it. She popped out on us. So, well, we'll see if she makes it back in here in a moment. Yeah. So, like I said, it's important to be getting that midlife. Let me see if I can. We couldn't get her in there. I see her again. There she comes. See if it happens this time. We are on standby. There she is. Maybe we got her.
Yes, I'm just.
Oh, we just lost you again, Dawn. It is one of those nights where it's just not going to be an easy night. Okay, we got it.
Yes, I think we're set now. Sorry about that.
You know, it's so funny because it's like some nights everything just happens just as easy peasy, and there's those other nights that just don't happen so easy. So yay, we're glad you are on here. Excited to have you. And I was just kind of, you probably heard me rambling about this midlife movement and how we need to stay strong. And our estrogen is going down, which means muscle tone is going down. And so strength training is important, and you can get some of that with yoga. So I'm going to let you do your thing here, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Thanks, Kim. I'm Dawn Heywood. For those of you that don't know me, I am a heart-centered chair yoga teacher who empowers caregivers, women over 40, pretty much anybody who is interested and ready to take control of your movement journey and your stress management journey. And I empower you through yoga tools, to use intentional and mindful movement and breath to work through some of the challenges of perimenopause and menopause. I'm using them myself. And part of that is also maintaining mobility and flexibility that allows you to have the strength, the stamina, the strength to move into heavier lifting, because I also lift as well. I lift heavy because that's what we need to do. I also do a lot of walking as well, weight bearing with a weighted vest. But my yoga practice helps keep me flexible and mobile, And most importantly, it helps me work to manage my hot flashes and hormone imbalances and moods with the more restorative type practices,
Mhm.
slow moving, supported with props, and things like that.
Nice, nice. And you do the chair yoga. I teach chair yoga, which is awesome because I have, I don't want to say severe, but I have pretty bad arthritis in my knees, and I've had I've had issues since I was a teenager. So I have always had to figure out how to do things in an alternative way too, which is frustrating because I want to be the one that's out there doing that. And yeah, so it's great that you're able to bring that into it because especially like like I said, and we both said we need to keep moving in mid-age and keep that strength and the flexibility going. But sometimes like yeah, when you've got some of those other things happening, the arthritis or hip issues, or it's hard to keep going. And so this way we can keep that going. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the way I coined my little, I was working through some things earlier today, and I didn't call them yoga props. I called them yoga enhancements because they really, things like blocks, things like a chair, things like a blanket, really support your practice. They don't take away from the practice, and actually they make the practices more accessible to more people because you don't have to worry about the balance. You don't have to worry about getting up and down on the floor. You can use that chair or the counter or a pillow or a couch to get this a similar benefit. And the other and also with you were mentioning with the arthritis piece, um, practicing yoga also, not only do you get the movement in the chair, you also have a safe space to give your body permission to rest.
uh,
And also some of the tools that we practice together is keeping your mind busy by paying attention to your breath. And when your mind is paying attention to something else, it the pain can go away. So there's an opportunity to get relief, even if it's just for a little bit,
right. Yeah.
through these breathing exercises and really real intentional movement. So really linking your breath to the movement and moving within your comfortable range of motion.
Nice, nice. And like you said, stress too, because we can stress so easily when those hormones are going away too. And we just need to have that time of mindfulness, the moment, being here in the moment, and kind of not worrying about the outside world. We're dealing with us and
Exactly.
making yourself healthier and happier. And yeah,
Yeah, I like to call it putting your to-do list in a little box and putting that box to the side of your space.
nice. Nice.
And
Because I tend to, I have, I always say I have 5 windows and 30 tabs open in each window, and things are just continually going in my head. And even sometimes meditation is hard because things are always spinning. And so that's the nice thing too, the yoga. You can just, like you said, concentrate on your breath and focus in on this too. So,
right. And the right kind of guided meditation can also give you that
mhm.
opportunity to give yourself permission as well. And really it boils down to trust. And that's one thing anybody who's looking to move into a yoga practice would really want to be looking at would be, who do you feel safe with? Because there's a lot of online yoga teachers. I mean, I'll throw out there, Yoga for Adriene is probably the one I see most cited
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
people are asking for advice of who to follow. And and she's great, yet there are limitations, especially for um, individuals who have mobility challenges or are of a certain age, we just can't practice. Even a class labeled a beginner class might not be right. So what I would, not only do you want to trust your teacher, you also want to be working with somebody who is very focused on empowering you to listen to your body. So a lot of what you do, Kim, I saw your post about intuitive eating and really listening to your body. Yoga, practicing with the right teacher who teaches you how to be be safe and in quiet and stillness and holds that space for you to practice being quiet and tuning inward, really will support moving into a more intuitive eating type style and will cue you in to the signals that your body is sending you. So not only just the relaxation, but even the hunger signals and the stress signals.
Nice. Yeah. And that's something I think that's taken me a lot of work to do, is to just, like I said, everything's going on in my head and I'm always up in my head, and to
Mm-hmm.
stop and like come down here and listen to what my body is telling me and not what I'm trying to think it needs is hard. But it's been something I've been working on too. It's just like, oh, you know what? Maybe I really need to take a break and walk away or go do some deep breathing, and maybe I need to go scream into my pillow. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me, I have a
No, go ahead.
question for
Okay.
you. When you take the break, and you're taking a break because you're stressed or whatever label you've created, when you come back to work, what happens? Do you how does your mind start working and handling what you have in front of you? The
I,
next thing to do.
as I say, I come back more focused too. And like it's like I shut down a bunch of those tabs when I'm out there, and I'm able to come back and take a deep breath and go, okay, we can do this again. Because if I sit there and I keep trying and trying and trying, I get more frustrated, and then it's really not good. So,
Yeah, and as an entrepreneur, I mean, it's so easy to get
yeah.
wrapped up into that. And I would argue, I would add another benefit of taking that break. I mean, even if it's just 60 seconds to practice something as simple as being intentional with whatever you're doing. It could even be you're going to make a cup of coffee or get a refill your water jug. Being intentional with that for 60 seconds or 90 seconds or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You're breaking that cycle that you've created with the work, with your work culture. And I love, Kim, that you said you felt refreshed, you felt more focused, because
Yeah.
that's really so important. And not only managing your life as you move into perimenopause, but just life, navigating life in general as an
Right.
entrepreneur. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we tend to, well, I have my day job and I come home and I quick make something to eat here, or I try to have food prep so I can just like warm it up and eat. And then I plop down here in front of my computer and this is where I'm going. It's like, what are my 20 things on my list do I need to do today? And so, yeah, definitely being able to learn to focus that, and because we want to be here for you all too, to be healthy. And I have to say it's hard sometimes because, oh, you want to do this and this and this, but it's really hard. Okay. Can you
Oh,
hear
okay.
me? My phone
Yes,
started
that's
ringing.
better. I wasn't sure if it was my headset that bounced back to my phone or not. That's kind of way I went. Yeah,
Like,
moved them.
my phone started. I forgot to like mute it. Um. Oh, I know. It's like, I talk about, midlife women and our hormones and how we stress and we want to work at and as the full-time working entrepreneur on the side thing, it's really hard for me sometimes to stop and take those breaks. And I'm out here telling y'all need to do this. It's hard some days, but we know as these midlife women that we need to live life a little bit differently than we did the first 20 years of my kids' life.
Yeah, absolutely. And three easy 60-second things you can do to take that break. Give yourself 60 seconds of guilt-free rest. Deep breaths. You could set your timer for 60 seconds and just breathe. You could breathe naturally. 3 deep breaths can make a huge difference just getting you grounded. Taking a walk, walking around, and then you can just stretch. My favorite are side bends. So inhaling, bringing your arms up overhead or to your shoulders or hips, and then just moving side to side. Just open up the side body, create more oxygen.
Nice. Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, that's the thing too. You just like sit here and don't breathe while you're working.
You could even just to something
uh,
as simple as
yeah.
rolling, stretching out your hands. It doesn't have to be complicated, and a lot of people do it naturally because I see so many people going like this during meetings, and what makes that motion even more impactful is if you link the movement to breath. So as you exhale, you're moving your head towards your shoulder, and maybe you're breathing in, and then each exhale you're sending it out at the point where you feel sensation, and doing that for 3 to 5 breaths, and then slowly inhaling, bringing your head back, exhaling, switching sides.
Nice. Those are, I don't know, maybe you can give us a quick couple tips because I know, like I sit at work and I work on the computer all day. I come home, I'm on the computer all evening. My coworkers just started going to the chiropractor and they were showing her how her neck, instead of doing this, is doing this. And
Mm-hmm.
so and it is, and they said to her, it's because we sit like this all day long that and then there's the cell phones or whatever. So do you have like just even a quick few maybe even exercises or stretches that we can do sitting here at the computer?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites for the tech shoulders, and opening up the chest is inhaling, opening your hands to the sides. I know it's hard to see my hands, and imagining your shoulder blades squeezing towards each other, and let your girls shine. Bring your chest forward. I know we're used to hiding. This is not the time to hide. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale and exhale. Curve in. Give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rocking side to side, really separating the shoulder blades away from each other. And then once you hold this a little bit, then you can move. So inhale, bring your arms out. And exhale, cross your arms the other side. Give yourself a little hug. Using your entire inhale to open. And exhale. Switch sides. Give yourself a hug. And then you can keep doing that as long as set your timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, set your timer for 60 seconds. Um, another, let's see, what else? Shoulder rolls are always really good. Inhaling as you bring your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale as you bring them down and back. You can also inhale, bring your shoulders towards your ears, and then exhale, just let them go.
And the breathing is
Inhale.
important. That breathing
Yeah,
is important.
exactly. And that's what takes a movement from a stretch into yoga. It's connecting the breath and the movement. And because your mind has a neural pathway to each and every muscle. And by taking the time and paying attention and telling your mind to move your body part, you're creating a new neural pathway that not only signals to the body that it's safe to relax or to ungrip itself. You're also creating a deeper connection to the way your body moves. And over time, with practice off the mat, when you start to notice your shoulders creeping up, your mind will automatically say, oh, it's time for me to take a deep breath now. So you may find that your body intuitively will start either craving food or will sense that it's craving that deep breath or movement. So it's really another way to tap into your intuition and your body's automatic response to the stress. And you're turning off. Oh,
it's the dog's treat time, and he's over here telling me about it. Oops, I forgot to do that today. Sorry. Something else. We do not forget to have treats on hand, because if we did, it would be a long, ugly night, because he makes sure we know every night, 7 o'clock, it's treat time.
Oh, yes, yes.
We do not forget. He does not forget it. I'm like, you're 13 and you're almost 13 and your brain's not all there, but he still knows what time it is.
And that's really an interesting observation, because we as humans have forgotten that automatic response, because we've been conditioned to only be productive when we keep going and keep going and keep going, and we've lost that ability to go on an autopilot, so to speak.
Right.
And that's really, I mean, that's what they call about when they talk about circadian rhythms and hormone balance and just lifestyle balance, is just really connecting to the way our bodies are naturally built.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that we see this in our animals and our little children when they're first when they're really little, and it's one thing I love about yoga, is it's taught me to remember that time when I was free and didn't have the care, and to really reconnect to that childlike approach to life, because and to really give my body an opportunity to take off the adulting for a little bit.
And tell you what, there's days you definitely want to do that, need to do that. Yes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
There's days I want to tell my kids, you guys can be the adults, and I'm not. Oh, anyways, yeah. And I don't know, there was a thought that went through, when we were kind of talking about the hormone things, because there's that whole connection. Kim's going to get a little sciencey right now. As we talk about, the hormone, our estrogen, progesterone, our sex hormones, because they're declining, where like they end up being around zero, not quite zero, but really close there. But then we have the other hormones, and whenever we talk about hormones, to me it's always like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, right? But you were talking our circadian rhythm, so we've got the melatonin and the Kim's brain went tonight. But then we have all the cortisol, our stress hormones, and we have our hunger, the insulin and the ghrelin, and all of those they're all hormones, and they're all, like you said, connected and balanced, and that's a huge thing when the sex hormones are going away, is trying to learn to balance those out and keeping that circadian rhythm going. Is that where I'm like trying to get back to? Because it's a hard thing, and in our lives, I know it's we sit in front of these blue lights too, and that just messes with it all too. So
Right.
taking those times to breathe.
Yep. And I'm glad you mentioned cortisol,
Yeah.
because when you practice slowing down and tapping into your breath and moving in certain ways, you have an opportunity to tap into your vagus nerve, which not
Mhm.
only signals the body to go into deeper relaxation, it also helps regulate cortisol levels. And and as you, the deeper you breathe, practice breathing really into your lower belly, or you moving into your neck and your lymph areas, the even deeper you may find yourself into a state of relaxation, which creates deep sleep, better sleep, which can help with hot flashes. I've noticed for myself personally, this is my journey, that there are certain times of the day that the moment I start worrying about something, so my anxiety kicks in, the hot flash starts.
Ooh.
So for me, it's that, okay, my brain says, okay, put it aside,
Time to
come
relax.
back, time to relax. And usually, if I focus on the breathing or I take a few deep breaths, the hot flash subsides a little.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't
You know,
work for everybody.
I discover, like with myself, is I could, oh, for goodness sakes, Don. He's trying to find, I don't know what. Oh, there's a full packet in there that he can't get into. I don't know. Oh, when I would start to feel a hot flash come on, I would get anxious and I would start doing just short breaths. It just, and I had to learn to just deep breathe through it instead of
Mm-hmm.
that short, anxious breathing that we get into. He's on, it's time, Mom, it's time. And there's a full pocket in there. He found that's what he was after. Oh, here we go. We're getting some deep breathing going
Oh, and we're relaxing our muscles too. And that was
on.
the other point I wanted to add, is it's also about practicing and learning, empowering yourself to give the muscles around the area that's feeling tense permission to relax. So when you start to feel the shortness of breath, not only are you taking a deep breath, you're also reminding your lungs, your rib cage, your intercostal muscles, your throat, your sinuses, to all dial back and relax, creating even deeper, the ability to breathe even more deeply.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and you get into those, it's so funny because when I'm talking about, ways to help with hot flash help or any of this sort of stuff, and I'm like, get quality sleep, and I'm sure everybody's like that, where the heck, girlfriend? I'm up all night, but it is, it's doing those practices, those mindfulness practices, the deep breathing, the stretching, and allowing your body
Mm-hmm.
to relax before you go to bed,
Right.
and setting up those routines to help you get to that point. Get rid of the blue light.
Right. And it's not the kind of yoga that is most helpful, is the the slower kinds of yoga. So it's not a flow class of vinyasa where you're doing down dogs and warriors and all of that. It's using your cushion to put underneath your hips in a elevated, a supported bridge pose, or it's placing a cushion on your lap sitting in a chair and hinging at your hips and allowing your chest to be supported by that pillow in a forward fold, or using your forearms to prop yourself up. It's really slowing down. And even if you are moving, you're moving in the way that we practiced earlier, where you're inhaling and using the entire inhale to move into a
Mhm.
movement, and then exhale coming back in. So and getting your arms up over your head, heart openers are incredible for releasing the relaxation hormones and getting your body prepared to rest even more deeply.
Yeah, yeah. And take a hot bath.
Yes, yes, that too. That too. There's a myriad of other things as well. Your sense of smell can help. Self massage. There's really some easy techniques to even just circles right above your collarbones. Gets the lymph system going. It does. It signals to the sternum, to all these muscles, the pectoral, no, the pectorals are in back, but the all of these muscles too, to start to relax. Um, and getting your arms up over your head can be, for some people, if that is within your practice and your safe zone, can be also another. Lying down, you can lie down. It's something you could do in bed. Twists are incredible for balancing, using twists to balance your cortisol levels as well, because you're getting into the vagus nerve down in your belly.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And that vagus nerve, when I talk about the gut health, that vagus nerve is like a huge piece of that whole gut health too. So
mhm,
it's that
mhm,
gut brain connection. They chit chat back and forth. So
mhm. Yep. And everything you are already doing is, you may already be doing yoga. And if not, yo everyday life can be yoga, is with where I was going. But
okay.
what I really want to say is yoga supports everything. So even if you're working on your gut health, yoga can come in and support you with that. None of these healing modalities are exclusive. They're all very supportive. And really, the way I teach yoga is as a lifestyle. So it's not just, you just don't come in for a workout. You really get the opportunity to practice all different kinds of pieces of a yogic lifestyle.
Nice, nice. Um, oh, I know. I like to talk about, and it's so funny because I was just doing some of this stuff and I don't remember even, I was typing it out why I was. But anyways, um, but doing deep breathing even before you eat your meal, 2 to 3 minutes of just deep belly breathing, doing the box breath, I like to call it, in for four, hold for four, out for four, hold for four. Because when we're in this stress, the fight or flight or freeze mode, your stomach is not digesting, your gut is not doing its thing. And so even just doing that breathing and bring yourself back into rest, relax, and digest
Mm-hmm.
mode, so you can actually, when you're doing that and your body's actually digesting your food, you get those nutrients, and then you don't want to like eat as much either because your body's getting what it needs instead.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of us just filling it up with junk, we can actually eat what we need and be good.
Yeah, I love that. And that dovetails nicely with the concept of ahisma, which is non-harming. And really, when you take the time to breathe deeply and and eat with intention,
Mm-hmm.
you are reversing the harm you may be doing. I'm using harm that you may be doing to your body. You're reversing the harm that culture has imposed on your body. So it does all intertwine, and I love practicing what I call a yogic meal, which is the deep breathing, the pause, saying thanks,
Mm-hmm.
and really paying attention as you are putting food in your mouth, tasting the food, really slowing down, maybe as you're chewing, thinking about the way the food got to you, the people that were involved, the animals or plants that were involved, the process, and it's very enlightening, and it helps support good brain gut connection.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because when your gut is not healthy, we have all our gut is our second brain, and we have the vagus nerve, and the gut and the brain talk back and forth. And so when your gut's not happy, your brain's not happy. And when your brain's not happy, your gut's not happy. And it's just a vicious cycle. So taking those few minutes, and I know sometimes, like, like at work, I've been busy and it's just like, oh, I got 5 minutes to eat and that's it. Take a minute to just stop and do a quick breath or two and just kind of slow it down and bring it in. Because I know I've like just like shoved my food in, and then I was like, okay, I'm still hungry, even though I ate enough, but it was so unmindful about what I was eating that I just filled up and didn't like take the time to enjoy and actually nourish my whole body instead of that's what I was trying to
yes,
get to. Phew, that took a
yes,
minute.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And um, you talked about the mind gut connection. You can't exercise yourself out of eating too quickly or not giving your body an opportunity to absorb the nutrients or even enjoy your food. Yeah, we can do all kinds of twists and bloat reducing yoga, but if you're still living in the same stress-filled um, life and not taking the tools off the mat,
Yeah.
You're going to continue to go in a circle
Yep.
and maybe not move as forward as you'd like to or make the progress you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what when I do my programs, I mean, I just incorporate all of that into it because it's like you can take all the probiotics in the world, or you can take, doing what do I want to say? The patch that I have on, the estrogen replacement, you can do that. You can do whatever. It's not without all those other pieces, without the mindfulness and the stress reduction and the sleep and the everything. It's just really it's not gonna be there. We gotta take care of all of us, not just the one piece.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I just love that the whole yoga thing is just a whole piece of it too. So
Yeah, absolutely. And believe it or not, most people probably are living aspects of a yogic lifestyle. It's just
mm,
our modern culture doesn't necessarily call it that because Western yoga has been so compartmentalized to a fitness or a workout or a movement, or meditation or breathing, where really the way it was created was as a lifestyle, as all of these other pieces, the movement and the intentional living was to prepare you for non-attachment, to not be attached to any kind of outcome or stress
mm,
or anything in specific. It's just to be content with where you are. And when you're content, your mind and body are all in unison, and your body is working at its best capacity.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. I love that. That's like, I would say, I think that's a great way to just like bring this in because we just, yeah, we need to be here. And it's hard. I get it. It's hard. There's days. I'm just like, I'm ready to be done with my job, but I'm not happy here. I'm not, you know, but I'm not happy that it won't get warm outside. But it's sunny today. So that's what I have
Yep.
to say. It's 58 degrees out. It is June. I want to turn my furnace on, but I refuse to turn my furnace on. But my house is cold. We're in Michigan. We shouldn't be 58 degrees in June.
No,
No,
not at all.
no.
No, not at all. You can have some of our heat. I will send you our heat for sure.
It's like somebody on Facebook last night. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, beach. And she's like, oh, I live a couple hours, but it's 105. And I'm like, well, I live 10 minutes, but it's 50 degrees. So why don't we like go in between the two of us? Yes, I'm ready for weather, but we're going to be content because it's not raining today. So there we go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, in my Facebook group today, I have my what are you grateful for today? And I put sun.
Absolutely. Yep.
And
Mhm.
gratefulness is part of that whole contentment thing too. So
Correct. Hmm.
we forgot that piece of it. So
Yeah. No, we're even, yeah, we're incorporating the in. No, you're absolutely right. And that also is one of the outcomes and one of the benefits that I found with my yoga practice, is it's okay to be thankful. It's okay to be content with what you have. There's really no reason to keep striving. It's and if you are continuing to need to strive, perhaps it's perhaps you're still listening to old messages or old beliefs that you have been told your entire life, and maybe it's time to ask yourself, what future do you want?
right. Good. That's a good one. Yeah. There's a whole lot to this aging piece. And I don't know if I always like to say aging. It's just as we're gaining our wisdom because,
Yes.
you know, we're gaining years and we're gaining wisdom and we have all our tools to help us be strong and healthy. So,
Yep. And I love I love being in connection with you, Kim, and others like us, the work that we're doing, because we are breaking those generational
yes.
teachings, and we are committing ourselves to exploring, and ultimately I'm seeing a return to what our ancestors and the native peoples of our lands knew and once practiced. So I love that we're recreating the matriarchy and empowering other women
Yes.
to go on this journey with us and begin that real change and that shift
Yeah.
in our culture and the way we view our lives, and we're creating our own social upheaval in our own small way, and also continuing to honor the ancestral origins of our practices. So I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This has just been great. And so I just want to thank you. Put your contact information in, Dawn, because anybody wants to meet with you, talk with you, work with you, you know, catch up with her. We'll be glad to have you. do that. So, because like we
Yeah.
said, we're here to help you all to live a happy, healthy life. And I look at my grandparents and how they aged. One grandparent was very active. Perhaps she was doing like or not somersaults, cartwheels in the yard at like 60. And then my grandpa, who just when he retired and that was it. And like looking at the difference of how her being that active versus him being that not active. And so we're here to help you do this and keep going so that we live good, long, strong, happy, healthy lives. There we go. So, okay, all this craziness, I'm going to go give my poor puppy here before he loses his mind. His dream. He just is laying here like, Mom. So, you all have a great week. Thank you, Dawn, for joining us, and we will see you next week.